Welcome back. So today's our talk is on letter writing. I have a question for you. How many of you are how many of you are great writing a letter? If I'm not mistaken, most of you are going to be failed after listening to this class because what we actually taught, what we actually learned earlier was completely different than what we're going to learn today. Because we the people, every time we follow a certain format, and if I'm not mistaken, 99% of you might have copied the letters from your friends. You take that for granted. So most of you. So once somebody will write the letter and you're going to copy, you least bother about the content, what he has actually written in that. But in this class, you're going to build up your own letter writing skills. It is indeed important to a BTech student to write a letter. And if you know how to write a letter, you can easily write an email. Writing skills are very important as no, along with speaking skill. And how much priority that we are giving to speaking skill, the same way the writing skills are so supposed to be given, and it will be judged, and you take it for granted. On seeing your speaking skill and writing skill, people going to judge where you actually stand in English language. You take it that for granted. And I happen to observe, I happen to see most of the students, even though they completed their final year now, they are unable to write a letter properly and in a structured way. They were taught in first year, they were taught in third year too, and they are into final year and they pass. Some of them are graduated, and you believe me or not, most of them are not in the position to write an exact letter, and instead they're asking no their friends how to write this one. Too pathetic. And this class will actually help you to write how we supposed to write a letter, and especially when it comes to our educational institutions, you being a student, you might be writing the letter in different situations. When you're applying for bona fide certificate, or when you came late, you write a request letter, and sometimes you need a permission letter. Sometimes you write complaint letter about the facilities or about the faculty, teaching and all, and something you write about. So this letter writing, this class will actually help you how to write a letter in an exact way and in an acceptable way. This is what we're going to learn in this class of letter writing. Let's see how are we supposed to write a letter and what the letter is all about. Yeah, as we discussed earlier, as I told you. So we're going to see in this topic letter writing and as well as resume, cover letter. So how are we going to write a letter and how are we going to write a resume and cover letter? These are the things that we're going to see in this video. And see here, as you are seeing here, so we are living in a very technical, we are living in a technical world. So when we are living in technical world, we don't consider pen and paper are actually one of the ways, or they're not actually our go-to channels of communication, because we got new things now in the place of pen and paper. Earlier days we used to write letters to our even if you observe our if you ask your parents, they usually write letters to their beloved ones or to their parents or to their friends. But these days, so if you wanted to convey something or if you wanted to send some written writing part, so we normally taking the help of what do you call these emails. And now we have the message actually came into hands. The things were actually very handy. If you wanted to send a message, if you just text on WhatsApp, it goes. Or you can use Viber, or you can use Snapchat, you can use Instagram, and you can use too many things over there. So we don't consider this in this tech savvy world of this pen and paper are actually part and parcel of our communication. But even today, writing still holds an important content in your communication, because it so happened to notice one of the companies, MNC companies are asked, one of the companies actually is asking one of the students that, do you know how to write a letter? One of the software companies or one of the MNC companies, it's been has been noticed or asked one of the students, do you know how to write a letter? Because if you know how to write a letter, you can take it for granted. You can easily write an email. If you're not going to write, if you don't know how to write any letter, you cannot even write an email. So we the people should be in the position to understand the importance of this letter writing. And I'm telling you one thing, you don't need much no components. You don't need much equipment to write a letter. After all, it's just a simple thing. You just need a blank paper, your words, and your thoughts and opinions. If you have these things, you can easily write a letter. Let's see what we're going to learn in this topic. So in this topic, we're going to discuss only three important things. The first one is here. We're going to learn how to write we're going to learn how to write a complaint letter, and how are we supposed to write a letter of requisition, so called a request letter, and which is very important, the third topic, how are we supposed to write a job application, so called cover letter and resume. These are the things that we're going to discuss in the slides to come. Let's see how are we supposed to write a complaint letter. If you observe here, so the question is here. So we have to write a letter to the sales manager of Valentine.com about the kettle that you bought. You are not actually satisfied the kettle that you actually bought from this company. So now you have to write a complaint letter. Now you have to raise a complaint. So earlier days, if you observe, the letters were actually written like this. On the right side corner, you must write your place and date. On the left side, you have to write the address, from address and to address, and down there, and you're going to write the subject followed by the content. So when you come to the body of the letter, this is how, if I'm not mistaken, I, Victor Emmanuel Razu, you start introducing yourself, and you're going to write the problem that you have faced, wagera wagera, or blah blah blah, you're going to write. And down there, you're going to use leave taking, and followed by, again, you're going to write your name, your address, etc., etc. But now the current world has been changed. Now it got changed. So we the people who are supposed to use the format what you are seeing on the screen, this is the format that you have to use whenever you write a letter. Make sure of that one. So see here, the first thing is here what we have did. We wrote to address first, and followed by the sales manager, and to the company's name, and followed by the date. So most of the people are getting confused, or most of the people are using, this is how they actually write. So 20/20 slash 02 slash 2020. So we the one who are not supposed to use the slashes when you are writing the date. So this is how you have to write, so that everybody will come to know, everybody will understand, everybody will come to know about this one, about the date that you are actually talking about. And followed by, you have to write the subject. Sir, why we have to write the subject in a letter? So subject is the heart of the letter. It is the heart of a letter. So our heart plays an important role to a human body. Just like that, just like that, this subject actually plays an important role to the letter, because sometimes they won't get much time. The receiver won't get much time to read all the content that you actually displayed here. So that's the reason sometimes they actually go on with the subject. So when they see the subject, they will come to know, okay, this letter is all about that. So based on that, they'll actually proceed, or they actually forward for the actions. And after writing the subject, make sure you have to write this phrase saying REG. REG stands for regarding. So the letter is actually regarding about this, and followed by the salutation. So whenever you are writing salutation, remember, please do avoid writing dear respected sir or honored sir. Respected sir is the only term which is actually used by our Indians. So now we most of the people are not actually writing, because so in the place of that, we got dear sir. So you can write dear sir as a salutation, or you can write dear madam. So that is how you can use. So what happens if you write respect yourself? Because no, there is no problem here, but it gives the impact of Indianness. It gives the impact. So when we are writing something, we the people should be in the position to write how the world actually goes when it comes to letter writing. That is how we have to do. So if you observe, after writing these after writing the salutation, if you observe the body of the letter, so in the body of the letter, you're not going to find my name or the writer's name over here, because you need not to tell your name twice, because you're going to express, you're going to write your name over here, and again here after the salary leave taking, again you're going to write the name. So which is not necessary to necessarily to introduce your name twice. So that's the reason we completely ellipse, and followed by I'm actually writing, I'm directly hitting my point over here. So I'm completely dissatisfied with the model, that is a triple X kettle that I actually bought, and I even have to mention the date and also the location where I actually bought. So here you can see the date and as well as the location that I actually where I actually bought it. And finally, I'm writing the complaint. What the complaint I have got here when I actually bought it. When I came to your stores, that kettle was fantabulously good. But when I bring it home, and when I pour some water in it, so it started leaking. So that is a problem that I actually faced. So and later, I tried return to that one, and finally somehow I refunded. I actually returned that one, and now I'm writing the letter. Now in this letter, I'm writing what the things need to be done. So in order to resolve this issue, so I'm requesting them to refund my amount which I have paid, that is 1,200 rupees, and to my frequent customer account. They might be having my account number, so for which they have to write. So I'm enclosing the copy of original receipt. So when we bought this model triplex kettle, they'll give us the receipt. So unless we're going to provide this one, then they're not going to refund the amount. So I mentioned all the things which I actually faced where I actually bought and on which date I actually bought. Everything actually placed over here. And also for further communication, what I did, I even dropped my mobile number here. So this is how we have to write a complaint letter when it comes to a formal. And followed by I wrote the leave taking. The leave taking supposed to be written sincerely. So we are not supposed to. I don't think that we can use yours or no, faithfully. We can be. We needn't be faithful to this type of complaints. So we can be sincere. And followed by I wrote my name, Richard Dirmancio, and street, and where the place where I actually live. So this is how we have to write a complaint letter. Next, move on to the next letter. How are we supposed to write a requisition letter? So this is how we actually write the requisition letter. So here the complaint, the letter is all about I lost my card, so now I have to write a letter to the principal. So when I'm writing this letter to the principal, see here, this is how I actually wrote to the principal and the college name followed by the place. And as I told you earlier, this is how we have to write the date. And next one. So as I told you, principals even they don't get much time to read the content what we actually presented here. So that's the reason we the one who are supposed to write the subject like this. So what the subject here? So request to issue a new ID card because I lost it. So I'm requesting them to issue new ID card followed by the salutation, and here I'm directly hitting the point. So what the point here I would like to bring to your kind notice that I have lost my iCard. Where and when? So when I lost it yesterday, and where I lost it at the cafeteria during the lunch break. So and finally I'm going to tell them what kind of problems that I am facing if I don't have iCard. So first and foremost thing, I may not be permitted to enter into a college. And second thing, even if I happen to enter in the college, I won't get any library books, or if I happen to notice by any of the faculty, it's going to be a big mess. So I'm going to explain. I explained each and everything here, and requesting them at the end to issue a new icon, followed by thanking you and leave taking here yours obediently. If you observe here, the leave taking is yours sincerely, but when it comes to this one, it is written as yours obediently. Why it is written like yours obediently? Because we being a student, make sure we have to use only yours obediently. We should not write faithfully. We should not write what we call sincerely, because it is exclusively used for the student. We being the student should use obediently. Whenever you happen to write a letter as a student, make sure this is how you have to write. And next, why don't we write any other thing means if you are an employee, then you can write a sincerely or yours faithfully. Or if you're writing a letter, a request letter, or something to your friend, yours truly, that is what the phrase that you have to use. And if you're writing a letter to your beloved ones or to your parents, yours lovingly. See here, the purpose decides what leave taking, which leave taking that you have to write. So accordingly, we have to write this one. And here, as I didn't mention my details over here, so I wrote all my details here. Victor Dimancio, and I wrote my roll number, followed by the department. So whenever we write a department, we write mechanical or department of ME. This is how we actually write. But that is not the way you have to write, and this is the way you have to write that Department of Mechanical Engineering. And if you have any sections, give a hyphen, write the section in the capital letters so that the people will understand, okay, you belong to B section. This is how we actually write a requisition letter and as well as a complaint letter. So whenever you happen to write a requisition letter or a complaint letter, this is how you have to set the format and write. So remember one thing, when you go for examination or when you are at the time of exam, even the setting of the letter will be given mark. I guess they're going to allot 1 mark. So whatever you write, that doesn't matter here. But what matters here, how you actually set the letter matters a lot. For this setting of the letter, you will be given or you will be awarded 1 mark. So make sure, be careful when you're writing a letter. This is what is all about requisition, how to write a requisition letter and how to write a complaint letter. So in the next video, we're going to see how are we supposed to write a cover letter and what do you call that, resume as a fresher. So that is what we're going to discuss. If you still have got any doubts regarding to this, this letter writing, you can ping me on WhatsApp or else you can give me a call. Thank you.